Everyone, my name is Ashley Pickett. I'm one of the librarians here at Flower. I'm in charge of all of our central library stuff, if you will. So that includes our nonfiction collection for adults, all materials, all kinds of materials, and our databases. And it does include education for our system. Today, we're talking all about Fold3. So let's dig in, get started. Let's see. Oh, by the way, if you haven't come to one of these before, I don't mind questions in the moment. It's hard to tell on the little Zoom bar though, if somebody is asking a question. So if I don't notice you, please give me a shout. I'm okay with that. It's perfectly fine. And I do want to keep these to 30 minutes or less. I'm guessing with Fold3, this one might be about 15 or 20. We'll see though. And before we do get rolling, I want to make sure that you got your cheat sheet emailed off to you. If you haven't noticed yet, our classes do really follow these pretty closely. And these will give you some of the basics and things to get started with. And then you will also receive some bookmarks in your delivery, probably within the next month or so. These are great to give off to your patrons so that they have something to take with them. When they go home, just to kind of refresh their memory on how to access our resources. I just heard that they've gotten the Ancestry ones from the printers, so they should be coming in your delivery very, very soon. And then Fold3 typically takes roughly a month to get the new one. So Fold3 will arrive to you in April. Okay, so without further ado, let me share my screen. Potentially here. Here we go. Okay. Look okay? Can you see everything here? All right. So when you go to ncls.org to access all of our resources, you're going to find them listed by logo here on the right-hand side. Scroll down until you find Fold3. This is what you should see the first time you get there. So you're going to enter that library card number. This is one of those that you do need the entire number with your PIN. Fingers crossed that perfect. Okay. So I have some font settings turned on my laptop. My eyes aren't as good as they should be. So let me pull those down a little bit for the time being so that it looks as similar to what you will see as possible. Here we go. Okay, so welcome to Fold3's homepage here. This is what you should see pretty closely, at least when you first get there. Please note that Fold3 is one of those resources that can be accessed anywhere you have a library connection. Try that again. Anywhere you have an internet connection. It's not one that you need to use within the library only. I know it is owned by Ancestry, and that is the restriction with Ancestry just because it is so expensive. But Fold3 is different. Fold3 can be used anywhere you've got internet, which is great. That said, we have found here at Flower, I was just speaking with our historian before I walked in here. He's not such a fan of Fold3, and some of our patrons really do struggle with this one as well because they don't upload every military record that exists. Our patrons will walk in expecting to find everything right at their fingertips, and it's not there. I know from experience, my own grandfather was in the military, and I cannot find him on here. So it's hit or miss sometimes, but if you get lucky, there's so much information here for you to find. Okay, so like any good database, there's a zillion different ways to access everything. If you're kind of in a browsing mood, you can browse by country. You can browse by war. So if you scroll down through, you'll find some of those. And then they've got some other breakdowns down here for you. Okay, I'm going to go back up and hopefully I'm going to type in my maiden name here. Hopefully I can find somebody that I can work off of. You'll notice it gives you some options in different ways to search. I am going to go with Groff as a keyword to start. And I would suggest doing that for our patrons who aren't quite sure as well. Keyword really is kind of the best approach to start with. You scroll down and you can see all of your options. And then your sidebar over here on the left gives you a lot more to kind of tailor your results to what you're looking for. So if there was a date, we could add that, and they give you a scrolly bar here to play with. And that's really, really helpful. You don't have to well, I guess if you were on a cell phone, you'd be scrolling with the finger. But if you've got access to a mouse, you can pull that back and forth. I'm going to, and I think there's an apply button. Yep, there it goes. Yeah, there it is. You do have the option to add an actual range as well. So the top one would be your start date. The bottom one would have been your end date. I accidentally clicked off, so it didn't apply. That's okay. If you knew a place where your ancestor may have fought, specifically a country, it looks like, you can go ahead and add that in. But remember, all of the limiters and filters that you add, it keeps kind of chopping down your results and limits what you have access to. So it kind of depends on what your patrons are interested in and how much information they know. You know, if they really only know a few things, I would suggest starting broad to start, and then they can go from there. And then, of course, you've got the option to choose a war. Let's see if anybody with the Groff last name was in the Civil War. Oh, look at that. Aha, very cool. Okay, so they've also built some collections, which I haven't played around with too much. It looks like that might have been their way of grouping things together. I'm still looking over here, by the way. And then, of course, you've got your place listed, publication name. So that would be the name of where the record is coming from. So you've got widows' pensions, any stories that have been pulled from, that kind of thing. You're seeing the title of the document, if you will, over there too. Okay. And then that's just the type of record that, that it's pulling from. So let's go back up here. Just going to choose the top one. Okay. So let's pick George here. Okay, so because I'm on a laptop, it's kind of crunching down my screen a little bit, but if you were on a big computer screen, it kind of blows things up and gives you a lot to work from. So these buttons here, I'm going to click on this one, and that shrinks down that menu or pulls it down off your screen, so you can kind of see a little bit more. It always breaks things down, Fold3 does for us. So you've got your typed info over here on the left-hand side. And then your actual record, the actual image of it is going to be, take up the majority of your screen at least. Okay, and that beautiful scripty writing that I love. You can, using your mouse, you can kind of move it around your screen. You have all of these options here as well. So you can zoom in, which is great. And they're pretty high quality for, as you know, as old as the records might be. Yeah, this one's from 1862, so that's pretty cool, right there as itself. That's awesome. I unfortunately don't know who George is. I just picked him. He listed. I don't know why that was there. I've never looked at a Civil War card before, but certification numbers are on this one. So let me zoom back out a little bit. There's something important. So if you knew this individual, there's a kind of a confirmation of a death date in the war at Fort Alexander, South Carolina, I think that says. So that would be a huge piece of information to help your research. Even if you hadn't seen it yet, so that's kind of your first time seeing it, or even if it's corroborating, if that's the right word, confirming, if you will, another date that you had seen in the past. So you can really get a lot of information from this database if you're lucky enough to find what you're looking for. Okay, so up in here, you've got some options as well. If you had a personal Ancestry subscription, you could save this and kind of send it over to your own Ancestry account. Of course, we have a library subscription, so that's not possible for us, but it is there. I believe this is a tagging feature. Yeah, you'd have to sign into your own account, which we don't have, but that's okay. Oops. If I can, there we go. Okay. This one, yeah, that's asking if you want to, yeah, create your document. But if you wanted to download a copy, you can do that here. You can print, and then you can also send it to the memorial for this individual as well. So memorials on Fold3 kind of gather information for one individual and put it all in one spot. It is all gathered by users. So again, grain of salt with all the information. You don't know the quality of the research. You don't know the quality of the information that's there, but they are available. I find them really lovely for more recent military members. They kind of are a place for everyone to gather virtually and speak almost like you would at like an in-person memorial. You know, they're fantastic. And of course, you could share out to other social media sources and that kind of thing. Okay. Let's see. Nope, that brings down my menu. Back arrow. There it is. Okay, so this got me back to my results. Let's see. So let's go about searching. Go home. Oh, here's the memorials. Before I continue on, let me show you the memorials. So I'm just going to choose the Vietnam Wall. So these are all examples, and I'm just going to click on one. Okay, so this is the wall itself, and it's showing you a name from the wall. It wasn't quite what I was picking. Typically, when I think of the memorials, they're a literal list where people can write comments on, and they can be really moving. It takes some digging to find them. Let's see. On our wall, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay, we're gonna click one. Here we go. This is exactly what I was looking for. So there's an image of your military member, and then you can kind of see a timeline of their service record, if that information was put in, by the way. And then it goes through a lot of information. If there are any stories that anyone has shared. So this is a very, yeah, it's a very complete one. And then the gallery. Yeah, these are all of the images that have been associated with this individual. So if you're lucky enough to find your family member here, you can really get a ton of information. So back to our homepage. Let's see, I'm going to let's just do browse War of 1812. Okay, so there's all sorts of information here that you can read through. Register of enlistments. So if you're in the mood to kind of browse through, you can really find a whole lot of records to pick through. And of course, these are all handwritten. So there's a lot of information to page through here, but regardless of what kind of record you're in, everything will look the same for you. So you've got your typed version on the left-hand side, your actual record kind of takes up the majority of the screen. All of your darker, lighter, rotating, zooming, all of those options are over here. And then of course your downloading and printing options are here. Okay, go back. Yeah, I think those are kind of the quick version, quick bits of information. But this is one of those that you sit down and you kind of start digging and playing. And like I said, it is hit or miss. I find that they focus more on wartime rather than peacetime. My grandfather in particular, I can't find him on here, but I know it was more of a peaceful time when he was in the army rather than an active war at that point. So maybe that's why I can't find him. I'm not sure. But in any case, if anybody have any questions.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, hold on just a sec. Let me turn my volume up here. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so are you saying there's really not a lot of rhyme or reason on what gets loaded and what is not loaded?
I haven't discovered like an actual pattern per se, but it is a place to check, and they have, when you can find the information, there's a wealth of it. It's really, it just can be hit or miss. That's our discovery here at Flower, but you might have better luck than we do. I'm not sure.
Well, I haven't had better luck than you.
Uh-oh.
I'm just going to tell you 2 incidences.
Yeah.
And one of them might relate to what you said about peacetime, okay, versus wartime. Actually, my father was in the Army twice.
Okay.
Once was 1939, and then he got drafted again in 42. I can find the stuff, at least a while ago. I haven't looked lately, okay?
Yeah.
I could find it from 1942, but I couldn't find the other. Okay. The other one was my husband, who's a Vietnam War vet. And the last time I looked, which was also a while ago, I couldn't find him. So I wondered if it had anything to do with the dates.
That's always possible. My grandfather was, oh gosh, when was it? It was before my dad was born, and he was born in 62. So, I mean, you would think that grandpa was in far enough back where it would be outside of that date range, where they protect for privacy reasons. And I still can't find him. So I haven't been able to discover, but I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there. They've got recent memorials and things created here. So my thought is they would have something, but I don't know. I haven't been able to figure it out either.
So do you think like your library clients that have used it have been satisfied enough with what they've gotten, or do you find it frustrating when you're working with clients?
I find that people who are on their genealogy journey of research, it's a never ending process. So I think most of our users are really kind of, when they get to Fold3, they're used to that process of being like, okay, it's another stumbling block, but here I go. It's, that said, I'm on the CL committee, and I know it's something we're discussing, it's a balancing act with our funding. Is this one that's worth it? Is it not? We're not sure ourselves. So it's something we're always thinking about actively and considering. So, yeah. I'm glad to hear others echo our, I wondered if it was just a Flower only experience though. So I am glad to hear your stories.
You're glad to hear that I was frustrated with it too.
Kind of. I mean, I'm not alone in this boat here.
No, but thanks for the info.
Yeah. Anything else?
Hi. Yeah. I use Fold3. We use it here at the Mansfield Library, of course, for when people come in, and I've used it for years and years and years in my own genealogy work. And you're right, it is hit or miss, but you were just saying you were on the committee. It's invaluable to those of us who are looking. It really is invaluable.
Okay.
So that's just
I'm happy to hear that you're having some luck.
And there's more all the time, and there's a lot, around Independence Day and certain Veterans Day. They open up all their documents, or more of their documents anyways, on those particular days, and for no cost. And it's just really is something. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Anything else? I'll take all the comments you got. Okay, well, thank you for your input. I absolutely appreciate it. And we are always considering our databases and kind of balancing that act of funding versus use. And it's a never ending conversation for sure. But I appreciate you being here today. Look at that, 20 minutes. That's kind of what I was expecting. But if you don't have any other questions, I will wrap this up and send you on your way. And we're always here to help. Oh, and before I go though, I did want to point out, there is a museum on Fort Drum. It's brand new. Well, they've moved. So the building itself is new, but their experience and the fact that there is a museum is not. They've been there for a while, just the building has been renovated. And I met with them a couple years ago, and their experience and their knowledge when it comes to navigating military records is phenomenal. So if you ever hit kind of any roadblocks when it comes to military records in particular, they are absolutely awesome to reach out to, and they encourage it. They actually kind of asked me to pass that along. So feel free to give them a shout if you ever need any help. Okay. All right. So take care, everyone, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye.